90% of engine wear occurs at starting, in case you were unaware. Yes, you may be unaware of the quiet harm being done to your engine within the initial few seconds after starting your automobile. Do you have any bad habits that might reduce the lifetime of your automobile or need costly repairs later on? In order to maintain your engine operating properly for many years to come, we're going to explore the most frequent errors individuals make while starting their automobiles today and what you should do instead. Stay there because you might save thousands of dollars in repair bills by following these easy steps. First mistake. Don't turn on the starter. Too much time. Let's discuss a common error made by drivers, keeping the key in the start position for an extended period of time. Long-term cranking may not seem like a big deal, but it may rapidly become an expensive one. This is the reason. The starting motor in your automobile is designed to run in brief spurts, usually no more than 10 to 15 seconds at a time. Longer cranking times cause the starting to overheat, which puts needless pressure on its internal parts and causes your battery to deplete more quickly than you may anticipate. This may eventually lead to the starting burning out entirely, leaving you stranded and requiring an expensive repair to replace it. What I want to do instead? Stop and wait for around 30 seconds per minute before starting your automobile if it doesn't start after 5 to 10 seconds of cranking. This keeps the starter from overheating by allowing it to cool down. It's time to troubleshoot and look for potential causes of the problem, such as fuel supply, spark plugs, or even a weak battery if it continues. Keep in mind that cranking non-stop won't fix the problem. It merely exacerbates the situation. Second, avoid using a weak or incorrectly charged battery. Although it may not seem like a huge problem, starting your vehicle with a weak or undercharged battery is really a certain way to get into trouble. Low-charged batteries have trouble providing the starting motor with the voltage it needs, which may cause slow starts or perhaps no start at all. Even worse, voltage dips from a poor battery might be problematic. Damage delicate components in your automobile, such as the infotainment systems, sensors, or ECU. In addition to being annoying, this kind of damage is costly to repair, so how may this issue be avoided? First, use a multimeter to check your battery on a regular basis. When the automobile is off, a good battery should register between 12.4 and 12.6 volts, and when the engine is running, it should read between 13.7 and 14.7 volts. It's time to recharge the battery, or if it's an old one, replace it completely if the voltage is continuously low. Avoid pushing your luck beyond the 3 to 5 years that batteries normally survive. Additionally, watch for warning indicators such as sluggish cranking or dim headlights. These are the warning signs that your car's battery may be dying. Having a healthy and completely charged battery when you start your automobile not only guarantees dependability but also safeguards the rest of the electrical system. Third, don't inadvertently start with the hood open. When the hood is open, moving components such as the fan, belts, and pulleys are visible, posing a danger of harm to you or anybody in close proximity. These parts may get entangled with tools, loose objects, or even dirt beneath the hood, damaging your vehicle or transforming a little thing into a potentially hazardous missile. Furthermore, starting the vehicle while troubleshooting without locking it in park or neutral increases the chance of an accident by causing unintentional movement. Always make sure the area around the engine is free of tools, rags, or other things before starting the automobile with the hood open for inspection or troubleshooting. Make sure the parking brake is on for manual transmissions and the vehicle is firmly in park or neutral. 4. Do not begin unprepared on a high hill. Without the right preparation, starting your automobile on a steep hill may put undue strain on your drivetrain and engine. It may not start at all in some situations. This is the reason. Particularly in older cars or when your gasoline tank is low, gravity may suck petrol away from the pump while your car is parked on an incline. Due to its inability to draw gasoline into the system, the engine may run unevenly or have trouble starting. Additionally, if appropriate safety measures are not taken, the vehicle may roll backward, posing a risk to public safety. What steps can you take to prevent these problems? To keep the automobile steady and stop it from rolling, first ensure the parking brake is firmly engaged. Then, before trying to start on an uphill, replenish if your gasoline indicator indicates that the tank is less than a quarter full. This guarantees a sufficient supply for the gasoline pump. In order to avoid stalling or rolling while driving a vehicle with a manual gearbox, make sure you firmly press the clutch and brake pedals before beginning and be prepared to engage the gas as you release the clutch. To keep control of an automatic automobile, hold down the brake while putting it in gear and release the parking brake gradually. Beginning. Your car's smooth operation depends on fluids like engine oil, coolant, and even transmission fluid. Your car's moving components could not get the lubrication they need if your engine oil is too low, which might cause metal-on-metal friction, overheating, and perhaps disastrous engine damage. A burst gasket or even a fractured engine block might occur from your engine overheating due to insufficient coolant levels. Check your fluids before starting the car to prevent these mishaps. particularly on lengthy excursions or after the car has been resting for a long time. Make sure your engine oil is within the required range by using the dipstick. The best oil is clean and golden in color. Make sure the fluid is clear and debris-free, and check the levels in your coolant reservoir. For safe operation, don't overlook other necessities of transmission and brake fluid, which are equally crucial. You may save hours of frustration and hundreds of dollars in repairs by taking a few minutes to do this easy check. Preparations for harsh weather startup come in at number 6. Without the right preparation, starting your automobile in severe weather may cause undue strain on your electrical and engine systems, which can cause long-term damage. The oil thickens in cold conditions, which makes it more difficult for the oil pump to efficiently circulate lubricant and for the engine to start. Internal components may see more wear as a result. Similar to this, parts like the battery and cooling system are subjected to increased strain during hot weather, and neglecting to prepare may cause overheating or electrical problems. Before you start, take a few easy yet effective precautions to keep your automobile safe. When it's chilly outside, think about employing an engine block warmer. This helps warm the oil and engine for a smoother start if your automobile is left parked in frigid weather for the night. Weak batteries are more prone to die in cold weather, so be sure your battery is fully charged and rated for cold cranking amps. Check the coolant level to make sure your engine doesn't overheat in hot weather, and park in shady spots or use sunshades to lower the interior temperature. After starting, particularly in severe conditions, let your automobile sit idle for 30 seconds to give all systems time to settle. The 7th tip is to listen for odd sounds or warning lights. Unusual beginning noises such as clicking, grinding, or whining may indicate problems with the battery, alternator, or starter. In a similar vein, your automobile is alerting you to a problem if warning lights appear on your dashboard, such as the check engine light, oil pressure, or battery. Ignoring these indicators and starting the vehicle in spite of them might leave you stranded or cause irreversible damage to important parts. Check your battery first if you hear a clicking sound. It can have rusted terminals or be weak. While whining might be a sign of an alternator problem, grinding sounds could be a sign of a worn-out starter. You should never ignore warning signals. Overlooked, read your owner's handbook to find out what they signify and take quick action. In some situations, it could be preferable to refrain from using the vehicle at all until an expert has examined it. Number 8. Before beginning, check the drive belt. Power's vital parts, such as the air conditioner compressor, power steering pump, and alternator, are also referred to as the serpentine belt. After starting up, it can break or come free if it's frayed, fractured, or too loose. As a result, you can lose your alternator or power steering. Additionally, when the water pump fails, it may sometimes result in the engine overheating. Before starting your automobile, always take a minute to physically examine the drive belt, particularly if it hasn't been replaced in a long time. Check for signs of wear, such as fraying, cracks, or glazing. Make sure the belt is properly tensioned. If it is too slack, it may slide. And it may put stress on the bearings and pulleys. Have the belt changed right away if you see any damage or hear a screeching sound. Although drive belts typically last between 60,000 and 100,000 miles, it's always preferable to identify issues early. The 9th, before driving, warm up older vehicles. Driving an older automobile, particularly one manufactured before the 2000s, is different from driving a current car since you can't simply turn it on and go. Carburetors, which are often used in older vehicles, need time to correctly combine gasoline and air so that the engine can operate smoothly. Rough idling, stalling, and even long-term engine damage may result from starting and driving right away without allowing the engine to warm up. This is especially crucial in colder climates since it takes longer for the oil to circulate and lubricate vital parts. Prior to driving, always start the vehicle and let it idle for 30 to 60 seconds. The engine will stabilize its operating temperature during this period, and the oil will start to circulate to safeguard internal components. When the oil hasn't reached every component, revving the engine during this warm-up phase might result in needless wear. You're ready to go after the automobile is idling nicely. Your older car will run better and last longer if you take this modest step, making it dependable for many years to come. 10th, swap out worn-out spark plugs. For your engine cylinders to ignite the air-fuel combination, spark plugs are essential. When they're worn out, they cannot ignite the gasoline at all, misfire, or provide poor starts. This may harm other engine parts over time, reduce fuel economy, raise pollutants, and make it more difficult for your vehicle to start. As advised by the manufacturer of your vehicle, check and replace your spark plugs on a regular basis. Depending on the kind, most spark plugs need replacement every 30,000 to 100,000 miles. Keep an eye out for wear indicators like a dark, sooty look or an electric that is obviously corroded. Checking the spark plugs is a smart idea if you see rough idle, sluggish acceleration, or difficulty starting the vehicle. Replacing them is a rather easy and affordable maintenance procedure that may enhance your vehicle's functionality and guarantee consistently smooth starts. 11. Starting the vehicle without first looking for any leaks or warning smells. Oil, coolant, or gasoline leaks may not look like much at first, but they might be a sign of more significant issues like a malfunctioning radiator, a broken gasket, or a damaged fuel line. It is particularly risky to ignore gasoline leaks since doing so raises the possibility of a fire. Similar to this, burning odors or a strong chemical stench close to your automobile before it starts up might be an indication of overheated parts, braking difficulties, or electrical problems. Always pause to check the area around your automobile for drips or puddles and record any odd odors. Examine the color and consistency of the fluid if you see a leak. It may assist in determining whether the problem is with gasoline, coolant, oil, or another substance. Before you start the automobile, take care of the problem right away. In order to avoid more damage or safety risks, look into the source of any strong smells you detect, such as burned rubber or gasoline. You can avoid costly repairs and possible mishaps with a fast examination. If this video is beneficial to you, please remember to like, subscribe, and tell your friends about it. Number 12. Before starting an automobile that has been resting for months, inspect it. Major harm might result from starting an automobile that has been lying inactive for months without a thorough checkup. Clogs in the fuel system may result from gasoline separation or staleness, seals drying out, and fluid degradation over time. Additionally, corrosion on the grounds or terminals may prohibit the electrical system from working, and the battery may have lost its charge. The engine may overheat, leak, or even fail catastrophically if it starts with damaged parts. Instead, what I want you to do? Make sure everything is in order before you begin. If the oil seems black or grainy, be sure it is the right amount and quality. Modify it. Make sure the coolant is clean and has sufficient amounts. Use a multimeter to test the battery. If the voltage is low, replace it or recharge it. Check for cracks or flat areas and make sure the tires are properly inflated. If the automobile has been resting for more than 6 months, check the fuel. Think about using a gasoline stabilizer or emptying and changing the fuel. Check beneath the hood for indications of pests such as nests or chewed wires, which are typical in vehicles that are left unattended for extended periods of time. After everything is in order, turn on the vehicle and let it running for a few minutes to move fluids around and listen for any odd sounds or warning lights. By taking these safety and smooth starting measures, you may shield your vehicle from needless damage and expensive repairs. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. Stay safe, and see you in the next one.